Yes, sir. I have 1:59 p.m. will start here in just a minute. Everybody will take your seats. Get comfortable. We do have a very lengthy agenda today. Okay. Okay, I have 2 o'clock. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the November 18th, 2025 Board of Commissioners meeting of the Houston Housing Authority. Anna, would you be kind enough, please, to call roll?
President and Chairman Proler.
Here.
Vice President Commissioner Smith.
Here.
Commissioner Estevez-Lewis. Present. Commissioner Ballard. Here. Commissioner Kirkendall. Commissioner Carter.
Here.
Commissioner Lee.
Present.
Secretary Bryant.
Here. Thank you. And welcome, Commissioner Lewis. Welcome back. Hopefully for our final year-end meeting, we'll have a total board participation. With that, I would also like to introduce and ask the interpreters to please stand and introduce themselves.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Chairman. My name is Morley, Vietnamese interpreter. Dr. Lane of License from the Vietnam.
Good afternoon, my name is Paige Lester, Spanish interpreter, interpreter español para los que necesitan.
Thank you.
I'm Jackie Liu, the Chinese Mandarin interpreter. 我叫刘佳婷，是中文翻译。
Very well. Thank you very, very much. Before we move into public comments, could you give me a count, please, of those that are watching on television? 5. Very good. Thank you. Now, Donna, will you please do the...
Public comments?
Yes, please.
We have 2 speakers today, and speakers will be allowed to speak for 3 minutes for public comments. Speakers will only be allowed to speak once. I will inform you when you have 1 minute, and again when your 3 minutes have expired. The board will generally not respond to comments or answer any questions. HHA residents making comments are encouraged to state their name and the property where they reside clearly, and someone from the property management company will contact you directly with your issues. The first up is Mr. Lee, C.C. Lee.
Greeting, Chair and Commissioners. My name is C.C. Lee. I'm the founder of Stowe International Architects based in Houston. So today I am representing my client, and we have a 143 unit already built, brand new apartment in the Alief area, and my client is interested to see the possibility how to work with housing authority, either to sign a master lease or to have some kind of lease and program with housing authority. I think this is a ready build project, is ready to move in. We all know how long it will take to start a new project. I think this will be a great opportunity for housing authority and my client. So we are open for your guidance how we can start our conversation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lee, to turn around, that's Mr. Joel North. He runs our real estate group, and if you guys want to exchange contact information, he can follow up with you on this.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Ms. House?
Peace Board, I just want to commend you on two of the Houston Housing Authority administrators before I go into my list. One is Donna Dixon, the other is Joel North. Now we're body slamming them. No. My concern on the Allen Parkway Village, and each of you has the list, is what date will, will the families from Allen Parkway Village be allowed to return there? And why has renovation taken so long? And it seems like the community is being redlined, and we just don't want the Houston Housing Authority to be a part of redlining Freemanstown. And also I have a video of the general contractor, Franklin contractor, and one of his colleagues or co-workers. They turned water on. I mean, it was going up like maybe at least 10 feet in the air, and for no reason. I don't know if they were upset with you all, or we call that slamming the door when you leave. Okay, so if you want the video or whatever, you can look. I said, shouldn't have done that. Also, how many families have been returned to Allen Parkway Village? How many are left to be returned, and how soon will they be returned? When will the renovation of Allen Parkway Village be completed? Why hasn't qualified, knowledgeable persons in the construction field been hired to manage and oversee the completion of Allen Parkway Village's renovation? And how soon may answers to these questions be provided? The scattered site housing in Freemanstown owned by the Houston Housing Authority. Residents have been waiting for many years to have repairs done to the units. And, okay, thank you. And what is the actual date of repairs there? And the hiring practices and policies, and returning the fence that was removed from Victory Apartments. We'd like to know that, and how soon repairs will be done at that point. And the individual, inspection team, who will y'all consider in the future having an independent inspection team to inspect the Houston Housing Authority's properties, because they are in dire need of repairs, and residents have submitted concerns.
You got 13 seconds.
Okay, thank you very much.
Ms. House, thank you for your time, and I'll follow up with Joel. I think it was very helpful for me the last time I came out to the neighborhood and toured with you. There's been a lot of things going on in the background that you're probably not aware, and it would be a good time for us to follow up from our first meeting. So I'll get with Joel and we'll find a time after Thanksgiving to come back out and see you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I've given Anna the list of her concerns.
Okay, thank you.
That's it.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the approval of the October 16, 2025 Houston Housing Authority Board meeting minutes. And again, as I've said before, I've read them all and they read very well, and thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion to approve as submitted. Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye. Aye. None opposed. And we have an abstention. Next is a public hearing for fiscal year 2026 annual Public Housing Association plan, including the Moving to Work supplement, the 5-year capital fund plan, the public housing admissions and continued occupancy policy, and the Housing Choice Voucher Program administrative plan. And I'm going to turn this over to James Brown.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, it is an annual process to have a public hearing as we submit these plans and updates to. As well as that, it's a public hearing to discuss and to make sure the public is aware of 2 new initiatives. They have been publicly posted on our website in various places, but wanted to bring them up today as well. One of them is a special referral program that under our MTW authority gives us flexibility, combining project-based voucher housing with education and workforce supports. This is a partnership with the Family Scholar House that is working with the first phase of Carpenter House, formerly Manson Place, which is a low-income housing development in 3rd Ward. It's also a partner of ours in our Choice Neighborhoods project there with CUNY Homes as part of the replacement housing for CUNY. And so the participants of the Family Scholar House are single or 2-parent families with minor children. They have to have at least 1 adult enrolled full-time in a degree or certification program. They have to maintain enrollment of a 2.0 GPA or higher. And CUNY residents also have priority for admission to this program as well. And so our Flexibilities MTW program allows us to use our project-based vouchers with the Carpenter House and with the Family Scholar House accordingly in a more flexible way to promote this educational program. The second initiative that was added to our plan that was posted was our local homelessness and response initiative. So one of the things we've been working on with our counterparts in the city and the county, and as well as folks like the Coalition for the Homeless, is figuring out a way where the Housing Authority continues to play a part in the spectrum from everything from homelessness to home ownership. And with our authority and our flexibility with HUD, we are adding some provisions in our documents that will allow us going forward to be more flexible if funding comes through, to allow us to expand services for people experiencing homelessness or maybe on the verge of homelessness. It could be rental assistance, supportive services, housing development, etc., and also working with them on other programs like self-sufficiency. And so while we don't have a specific program laid out under this, we are putting this forward to give us the ability in 2026 to develop programs under HUD's guidelines. So with that, as this is a public hearing, Donna, are there any members of the public here who have signed up to comment on the plan for this public hearing?
No, sir.
Okay. There's no comments, then Chairman, you could close this public hearing and we can move on to the rest of the agenda.
You'll let the minutes reflect. Great. Thank you. I have a few comments I'd like to make as we begin to close the year. Many of us are limited. Our terms are all expiring at the end of the year from the board, and I wanted to take a minute to make a few comments. Good afternoon. I would like to take a moment to talk to you today about the strides our new leadership team is making here at the Houston Housing Authority to turn this agency toward a much better direction. It was just a year ago, actually I'm a journalist, and it was a year ago today, that this board began the process of bringing in a new team to reposition this agency on stronger physical footing. Today, the Housing Authority has made significant progress toward that stronger position. Our new team has brought real transparency and accountability. Previously, closed lines of communication have been opened. Our partners at the City of Houston now respect us. HUD in Washington actively communicates with us. Our President and Chief Operating Officer were just there within the last 10 days, even during the shutdown. The local media now hears us. And finally, and most importantly, our residents can depend upon us. There's no question that our new leadership team faced some real challenges, and I could spend the afternoon telling you all many of them. However, they have faced them all head on with the sole focus of doing what is right by our residents and the taxpayers of Houston. It was most frustrating and disappointing being a third-generation Houstonian and someone along with each of my fellow board members who have worked exhaustively to help this team steer this ship in a new direction, to see the recent news coverage suggesting that the Houston Housing Authority is, quote, forcing CUNY Homes residents to pack up and leave without anywhere to go, unquote. The story's provocative headline portrayed the situation totally inaccurately in a way that was a disservice to the residents who we serve and who live there. The planned redevelopment of CUNY Homes has and will always be a phased build-first process because every building and all of the underground infrastructure are being replaced. Some families will need to move temporarily so that construction can move forward safely. We can't tear down this 1938 structure and rebuild double the number of units in its place without some temporary displacement. That has always been the plan. The name of this program, which is a joint collaboration with HUD and the City of Houston, is the Choice Neighborhoods Initiative, which perfectly captures what the redevelopment project is all about. What matters most to all of us is that residents have choices. Every family will receive personal help and moving assistance, and no one will be left without a home. It's that fact that the media should have been clear on. Some residents will want to come back to the new CUNY Homes once completed, and they will have first priority to do that. Others may decide they want to make a new start somewhere else, and they'll have the full support of this agency to accomplish that. Residents should never worry about where they will live or whether they will have a home. The Housing Authority is communicating directly with all residents through mailings, community meetings, and one-on-one conversations to make sure they know what is happening every step of the way. As chair of this board, I know my fellow board members join me in seeing and applauding the progress this team is making. We are moving in the right direction, and this team's commitment to transparency, accountability, and service to our residents will ensure that we stay on the right track. Thank each of you for your commitment to continue steering this ship in the right direction, and my prayers are only for a successful journey, completing the ultimate task of providing Houstonians with competent and respectful affordable housing. And for that, I thank you. With that, I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Bryant.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Board, and thank you to the team. To reiterate what the Chairman said, we're not perfect. We are not going to go through the initiatives and objectives to better serve this public and the residents that we've been entrusted with servicing and walking alongside them without having a few missteps along the way. But as I promised to this board when I was appointed 9 months ago, we will make mistakes, but those mistakes will not be for a lack of hard work or a lack of integrity. But it doesn't mean we won't make mistakes. And so It's okay, and occasionally we might not communicate clearly, but or we might take a misstep here or there, but we have to make progress, we have to take strides to do things in the best way. And for those in the community, I would say, come to us, bring us your questions, bring us your answers. I appreciate Ms. House coming and being very clear with us today on the issues going on with her neighborhood. I mean, I feel the frustration of, and I'm thankful to the public for a little bit of grace they've given us, because it takes a little time in government to get the train moving and to get things going, unfortunately. And but we are working in the right direction. And so with that, I thought as we're going into our season of Thanksgiving and gratitude that I would use my operational update accordingly. And so first off, thank you, Chairman, thank you, Board, for your continued support, and a huge thanks to our staff for all the work that they've been doing. I can't commend you enough. For the public, please note the lobby will be closed on Thursday as I am celebrating and taking our staff off site to do a little team building and breaking bread together as we go into the Thanksgiving holiday. And then next week, the agency will be closed on starting noon on Wednesday through Thursday and Friday for the Thanksgiving holiday. Also, I think everybody knows and has been well aware of what's gone on in our government the last couple of months, and I want to say a public thanks to our friends at HUD who did an incredible job prior to the shutdown of setting up all the housing authorities in the country for success by securing our funding for the voucher program and for public housing through the end of the year prior to the shutdown, and lockboxing that money, which is why you have heard no issues with housing, but either on the public housing or voucher side during this shutdown, because our friends at HUD did an extremely good job making sure our residents were protected during that time. Unfortunately, our residents, though, did experience issues with SNAP benefits and others, and so I want to say a huge thanks to our partners in the food bank who stepped up and have continued to step up during this process all over the community as well. What they do, and if you've never seen the food banks and how they operate, it is incredible that we have such a fine organization here in Houston. Big thanks to our federal workers across Houston, especially those who showed up for 6 weeks without pay to do their jobs, to make sure that the cities and the government, the airport, and other things continue to run. And last week Donna was celebrating with her team as International Kindness Week. Next week is we go into Thanksgiving and then into the holiday season, and so I've been encouraging our staff to be thinking about gratitude, right? And my daily challenge to them last week, and I'll put this out there publicly, is every morning when you wake up to write it down, think about 2 or 3 things you're thankful for. And my challenge to the staff was not just to say, well, my spouse and my kids. Not that you're not thankful for them, but that's kind of an easy one. And be thankful for the things in your life that you may not be thankful for. Don't think about it. It could be the crossing guard who stands out there in the morning at your kid's school, or the barista at your favorite coffee place, or whomever that person is in your life. And then beyond that, I would encourage you to take the next step and actually express that gratitude to that person. I can't tell you how impactful that can be, especially as we go into the stress of the holidays. And so warm wishes to everybody next week as we go in. Hopefully everybody has safe travels if they're traveling with their family and can enjoy a little bit of time off with that. Before I close, Chairman, also want to say thank you to somebody who you got to meet earlier today, but I want to formally introduce her to the public and the rest of our team. But thank you, Laura Raub, for joining our team. Laura, do you mind standing up real quick? Laura joined us yesterday as our newest Vice President of Policy and Strategic Initiatives, and Laura brings with us over 3 decades of extremely high-level experience in housing and with HUD. In fact, she spent 26 years at HUD, 18 of them in D.C., before she came back here to Houston. A good friend said you need to meet her. She's incredible, and I agreed and almost hired her right on the spot and said, you got to come over here and help us get better. And so we're so thankful Laura's joining our team and is going to continue the help the agency move forward in its good work. So with that, thank you, and I will turn it back over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the well wishes. Under new business, we have some resolutions that need to be approved. First one is resolution number 3928. Who's going to?
Mr. Coles?
Kenny?
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
I'm tasked with presenting Resolution 3928, requesting board approval to authorize the President and CEO or their designee to submit to HUD the HHA fiscal year 26 annual PHA plan, the HHA MTW supplement to the annual PHA plan, the 5-year capital fund plan, the public housing ACOP, and the HCV administrative plan. In accordance with HUD requirements for this submission, HHA posted a public notice September 5th, 2025, provided a public comment period from September 5th through October 20th of 2025, and conducted a public hearing on the HHA fiscal year 26 annual PHA plan, including the HHA MTW supplement to the annual PHA plan and related documents and attachments. As part of the public comment process, full drafts of all documents were made available at HHA's central office, at every public housing development, and on HHA's website. I'm talking about, first off, the fiscal year 26 annual PHA plan. Not to get into very much detail, but just say that the plan provides a framework for local accountability and an easily identifiable source by which public housing residents, participants in the tenant-based assistance programs, and other members of the public may locate basic HHA policies, rules, and requirements concerning operations, programs, and services. The second document, you've already heard mention of HHA's MTW status, but basically MTW, Move to Work, is a designation held by 138 or 39 PHAs in the country out of the 3,300. And essentially, it allows us to operate better outside of the one-size-fits-all program guidelines. So you can look at it as the difference between you going to buying clothes off the rack or going to a tailor and getting tailor-made clothes. My mother would say it's the difference between vanilla ice cream and gelato, but I happen to like vanilla, so I don't say anything about that. But HHA became an MTW agency in 2021. As a designated MTW agency, HHA is required to prepare and submit an MTW supplement to the annual PHA plan prior to implementing any MTW waivers. The MTW supplement describes the activities and waivers that HHA intends to implement using its flexibility over the course of the fiscal year. Those initiatives were approved, and basically we're continue to work on those. And then you heard about the 2 additional initiatives under the Special Referral Plan and the Local Homelessness Response and Housing Stability Initiative. The third item is the 5-year capital fund plan, which details the capital fund improvement needed for HHA's public housing stock over the next 5 years. It's a comprehensive plan for HHA's capital improvement activities that includes a budget for each year based on assessments like physical needs and energy audits. This plan is a requirement for HHA to receive those capital fund grants. The fourth item in this resolution deals with the public housing ACOP, or the admissions and continued occupancy policy. That is the set of rules and procedures used to manage HHA's public housing operations. The ACOP is a comprehensive document that outlines things like eligibility requirements, the tenant selection process, rent determination, and rules for current residents to ensure compliance with federal and state regulations. And the final document is a Housing Choice Voucher Administrative Plan, which is really the same thing as the ACOP is for public housing. The administrative plan is for the voucher programs. And accordingly, staff recommends approval of the resolution.
Thank you very much. But with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution number 3928 as submitted. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Any discussion? I hear none. Great. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, Kenny. Table, resolution number 3929 will be tabled. So we'll now move to resolution number 3930, which is for the consideration and/or to take action. Which is for consideration and/or to take action to authorize the president, CEO, or designee to update the utility allowance rates for applicable public housing, rental assistance demonstration, project-based voucher, and tax credit developments.
Good afternoon, Chairman Bowler and fellow commissioners and Secretary Bryant. Resolution 3930 authorizes the President and CEO to update the utility allowance rates and the utility allowance study for applicable public housing, RAD, project-based voucher, and tax credit developments, and make any necessary corrections and changes. HUD regulations will require that public housing authorities review their utility allowances on an annual basis to ensure that their utility allowances and surcharges for excess usage are current, reasonable, and in regulatory compliance. The Houston Housing Authority uses two ways to accomplish this requirement for the different programs. For our public housing units, we currently have a HUD-approved 20-year energy performance contract with Siemens Industry Incorporated. And in their contract, Siemens is required to update and review on an annual basis the utility allowances for the public housing portfolio. Our other properties that have the RAD, Section 18 project-based voucher, and the tax credit units, the Houston Housing Authority utilizes the services of the Nelrod Company to review and update the utility allowances for each of these programs. If it's determined by these reviews that the utility rates and charges change by 10% or more, increase or decrease, the Housing Authority must revise its allowance accordingly. We have one property that met that criteria, that was Fulton Village, and we looked into that, and the reason that that increase was slight was because that property has gas along with electricity, so gas rates were a little high. Any questions?
I have a couple. How did the so Siemens provided you their estimate of the 26 numbers, is that,
They do that every year because they have this guaranteed payment back to the Housing Authority on savings, so they have to do the annual review of the allowance.
So I'm just curious, do we ever go back and look at what they projected and look and see what in actual was to see the accuracy of their projections?
So they have in their contract that allows them to escalate the rate 3% every year, which was approved by HUD to let them do that. And so it keeps in line with the savings of the energy performance contract, if that makes sense. So, you know, one of the criteria is they kind of control the allowance because they're the ones who installed the facility improvement measures, LED lighting, low flow toilets, things of this nature. So that's going to be set in their contract. We're in year 8 and we have 8 years of performance already.
Okay.
They've met their guaranteed savings with us. Actually, we've exceeded it quite a
Good.
bit. And that's a good thing to bring up. Jamie, is we need to brag about that. We are doing well so far. We're saving a lot of money in the energy part of it because HUD froze our base and now we pay the actual, so it's still working out for us.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was very helpful. Great. All in favor for, I'm sorry, can I have a motion to approve resolution number 3930 as submitted?
So moved.
Thank you. And a second. Thank you. I'll presume there's no discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We'll now move to motion number 3931 for the consideration and/or to take action to authorize the president, CEO, or designee to allocate additional funding to contract number 23-15, temporary staffing services to ensure continuity of staffing through the remainder of the contract term, October of 2026.
Good afternoon, commissioners, executive team members. Today I'm requesting supplemental funding for contract number 2315, which is a temporary staffing services contract. The contract has depleted a little faster than anticipated, and I want to briefly outline why this has occurred and the corrective actions already underway. So, several of our operational departments have relied on temporary staffing to maintain federally mandated service levels, manage backlogs, ensure continuity during extended staff leaves or organizational restructuring that has occurred, particularly over the course of this year. And these factors have sped up the continued utilization more than usual. Over the past several months, we faced operational challenges that required immediate staffing support. In particular, with our finance department, we had lost two critical key positions for which we had to supplement staffing, and therefore we had brought on board, to maintain compliance and continuity, brought on board high-level finance consultants as well as some specialized temporary staffs to support our fairly new CFO, Mr. Luke Joseph, as well as Vice President Rogers. And so that also accelerated the spend from that contract. Fortunately, sufficient funds are allocated within the agency's overall salary and benefits budget to accommodate such occasional adjustments. Therefore, to responsibly carry this contract through this term that ends in October of 2026, we are requesting supplemental funding not to exceed $366,000, which is actually calculated based off of a bill rate of an average bill rate of $35 an hour for 5 temporary positions. And the reason we've chosen 5 is because what we're trying to do, this is pretty common for many housing agencies, to carry between 15 to 30 temporary staff members. However, we're trying to be a bit more financially responsible, and considering that we could do without having that many temporary staff members and actually directly hire for those positions. And the savings that we'll end up having will be quite significant in the end. So therefore, the actual amount that we're requesting, $35 an hour, a bill rate average for 5 slots, which is based on a 12-month projection. So that gives you $336, and the additional $30,000 will help to carry out the remainder of the consultants that we have brought on board that will end in December 31st, 2025. So at this time, I respectfully request your approval, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
And I'll add one thing for the commissioners, as a reminder, these dollars are in, the dollars that have been spent, will be spent in 25 are in the annual budget, and the dollars that are anticipated for 26 will be in the annual budget for 26 as well for labor and staffing.
You have a question?
Yes, so, in total, so we already have a contracted amount of 1.2 million, is that right? How many employees is that, or staff, temporary staff, is that?
So,
Or is that budgeted amount?
what we had as of about a month ago, we had approximately 21. But over the course of the last couple of weeks, we visited with department leaders, and fortunately, our department leaders also understand the need to reduce the number of temp staff that we have. So we've actually whittled it down to about 6 or 7 temporary staff members at this point in time. We've converted many of them over to direct hire, those that we felt were of benefit to the agency. And those that remain, we're still evaluating to determine whether or not we're going to convert them. If not, then we move in a different direction. So at this point in time, we're, I think it's 6 or 7 temporary staff members that we have right now.
And then how are they funded if it wasn't, so it's no longer from the 1.2 million, it's from another source?
So within our own budget, the personnel budget that we have, the agency has, there's enough in that budget that's helped to supplement whatever overages we had in that contract.
So I'm thinking if we reduced by such a large amount of employees, wouldn't there be an excess in the 1.2 million to carry us until next year?
So we've actually exhausted that 1.2, that's why we're asking for an
So
additional.
the 366
Mhm.
is for, well, 336 is for just those 5 employees until October.
Correct, we're anticipating that we may have to carry 5 slots into that year. The purpose that we're driving home is that we're looking to directly hire as opposed to bring on temporary staff members. As you know, the bill rates are such, they're much higher than what we would do when we paid them directly from our own personnel budget. So that's the idea behind us reducing that number.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve resolution number 3931?
So
Thank you. And we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Riz. Resolution number 3932, which is for consideration and/or to take action to authorize the update of the previously approved FEMA grant amount in resolution number 3922 for the Independence Heights 2 transaction.
Chairman, I'll take this one. So the board passed a resolution in September allocating $20 million of FEMA grant money that had been granted to HHA to the Independence Heights 2 transaction. Actually, there's a step in between. We'll have in our later victory session what happened in September, and the same thing will happen today at the board's pleasure is HHA will grant the money to Victory, our other entity, development entity, and then Victory turns around and will loan that money to the partnership that is developing this project. We are coming today with a change in the amount. FEMA actually had allocated us more money than the $20 million. It's a little over $31 million. Because of the government shutdown, unfortunately, there was a few things that occurred that were outside of our control that has caused, hopefully it's a short term, although we can't guarantee it, funding gap in this project. And so we are asking the board to allow us to use the rest of the FEMA money on this project. It will be loaned to the project. To be clear, the project has not, the budget and the development budget on the project has not changed. This was related to tax credits and the calculation of those tax credits. It's somewhat of a complicated manner, and I'm happy to answer more questions on it, but unfortunately, we had a set date to close that fell during the government shutdown. And because of that, we have lost some of the financing that was coming through tax credits. We are going to appeal that to the federal government and the IRS. We don't know how long that's going to take, but we are going to, the request is to use the rest of the FEMA money to bridge loan for the project so we can close sometime after Thanksgiving, and then we will appeal it, and assuming we win the appeal, when that money comes back in, it will repay Victory's loan.
Great. Thank you very much. With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution number 3932. May I have a motion, please?
I make a motion.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Appreciate that. We will now convene into executive session. An executive session will now be held beginning at 2:40 p.m. on Tuesday, November 18, 2025, pursuant to the Texas Open Meetings Act to discuss personnel matters in accordance with Section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code, legal issues in accordance with Section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code, and real estate matters in accordance with Section 551.072 of the Texas Government Code. I have this at 2:40.
Thank you, everyone.
The executive session has ended and the public meeting is being reconvened at 3:27 PM on Tuesday, November 18, 2025. Anna, would you please call roll?
President Chairman Proler,
Here.
Vice President Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Aceves Lewis,
Present.
Commissioner Ballard, Commissioner Carter,
Here.
Commissioner Kirkendall, Commissioner Lee, Secretary Bryant.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum, and I'll now entertain a motion for adjournment. May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Thank you. And do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? We are officially adjourned at 3:27 PM. With that, I now will call the meeting to order for Victory Redevelopment Corporation. I have 3:27 on Tuesday, November 18, 2025. Anna, would you please call roll?
President Director Proler,
Here.
Vice President Director Smith,
Present.
Director Lee, Secretary Bryant.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum approval. I'd like a motion to approve the October 16th minutes as submitted.
So moved.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye. I'm sorry, may I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Let the record reflect Commissioner Lee has arrived. And under new business, there's a resolution for the approval of VRC number 2527, authorizing Victory Redevelopment Corporation to update the previously approved loan amount in resolution number VRC 2521 for the Independence Heights 2 transaction. I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution number VRC 2527.
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? I'll now entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye. And we are adjourned at 3:29 PM. And I'll now turn it over to Commissioner Lee for APV.
Now it's 3:29. Call the order, so, and I need to then close.
President Director Lee,
Here,
Vice
present.
President Director Aceves Lewis,
Present.
Director Smith,
Here.
Secretary Bryant.
Here.
Thank you. All right, so item number 3, approve the September 23rd, 2025 APB Special Board of Directors meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, please say aye. Any opposed? No, motion carried. Thank you. Go to number 4, new business, a resolution number APB 2520, authorizing APB Redevelopment Corporation to loan $200,000 to APB Telephone Road Elderly GP LLC, the general partner of APB Telephone Road Elderly LP, which loan funds shall be used to address corrective actions required by the TDHCA final development inspection report to address accessibility deficiencies and compliance-related concerns for the Telephone Road elderly apartments. So do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Any second?
Second.
That's why I say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. All right, so if there's no other business, we can adjourn the meeting. It's 3:31.
Motion to adjourn.
All right? Second? All right. You can adjourn. Thank you. All right. Good. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Great. Thank you.